My name is Gregory Morgan, and welcome to Love Talk. I'm here to take your calls and to answer your questions relating to your relationships, your life, your health, your dating, sex, any kind of human relationship. That is who we are as human beings. How we know who we are is through the relationships that we're having with other human beings. And not so much to give you answers like how to live your life or tell you what to do, but answers in the form of questions that would empower you to live a more powerful life, to live a life of insight that is connected with your own core wisdom and your own core values. So it looks like we have some calls already. I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Hello, this is Gregory, and you're live on the air.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I would just this problem is kind of about my name, and it's kind of like a hard one. It's not very much of it's found, and the kids at my school always make fun of it.
Okay, so what's the name?
Proshat.
Proshat?
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, what age are you?
Oh, I'm 12.
You're 12?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great to have. I didn't know that people at your age were watching my show, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Proshat, that's unfortunate. I understand, at that age, and maybe all the way up till later on in teenage years, one of the things that kids do is make fun of each other. And I mean, they can be incredibly mean sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you have some friends at school that you're close with?
Yeah, some.
Well, why don't you just make up a nickname for yourself?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
Well, I do, but there's some individual people that call me that.
They call you by the nickname, or they call you the other names that you don't like?
The names that I don't like.
Yeah, okay. So are you asking me what to do about that?
Yeah.
This is a big order for a 12-year-old, okay? But here's what, this will have you grow and have them grow as well, okay?
Yeah, okay.
I want you to go, the next time they call you that name, whatever it is,
Okay.
I don't care if it's in a crowd of people. See, one of the things that people do, especially at that age, you're entering into an age where belonging to a group or a clique or a group of people is very, very important. It's just a stage in your growth and development. You actually outgrow that later on, but right now it's a very important thing. Like your hair, your clothes, your shoes, the name they call you, all of those things are important because you want to belong. You want to feel like you're not cast aside, that you're part of the gang or part of the group, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that people do so as to make themselves feel more important and be a part of the group, to sort of identify themselves as like I belong, is to make somebody else feel like they don't. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they sort of surround themselves with the group, and then in front of the whole group, they'll embarrass someone.
Yeah.
So to make them feel like they belong, and that person is isolated or outside.
Yeah.
Very common and very childish. Proshat, the next time they do that, I want you to walk right up to the person that did that and simply say, it doesn't feel very good when you call me that, but if it makes you feel better, then you're welcome to go ahead and do it. I don't care what you call me. I know who I am. I know what my name is, and it's Proshat. If you can't say that, then I will teach it to you. But
okay.
The point is, you don't have to say the words that I said.
Okay.
The point is to go up and don't run away from it, but to walk towards it. Do you understand? The natural tendency when somebody's throwing that kind of energy at you is to turn and walk away from it, or to hide from it, or to avoid it, and to simply be hurt by it, yes?
Yeah, I do avoid them. I just don't even talk to them, but they just come up to my face and say it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You have an opportunity to teach yourself, okay, to not back down from that.
Okay.
Nothing's going to happen, I can tell you that.
I know.
There's no likelihood that they're going to get physical with you or anything, is there?
No.
No, that's not it. It's just words, and it's just somebody who is childishly trying to make themselves belong by isolating you, and the only thing they could find to do is make fun of your name.
Well, nobody else does it except this one particular guy, and he used to be really nice before, but then something happened in his life, and his mom died and stuff, so that's why.
Yeah.
I think so. That's what happened.
Yeah, so then maybe his his mom died, so he's probably in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
You know, you might approach him about that and say, look, I know that you must be in a lot of pain about your mom, but trying to hurt my feelings and publicly embarrass me or humiliate me is not the way to deal with it. In other words, Proshat, you're taking an adult position about it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're being the senior person. You're being the person who is more mature, more self-possessed, right?
Right.
And this is somebody who's obviously in pain and needing to bolster themselves by looking more important or whatever. And, you can gently but firmly approach them and just say, look, this is not working for me. It's hurtful. It's unnecessary, and you're pushing away somebody who's actually willing to be your friend. Are you willing to be his friend?
No.
Why?
Because he's mean.
Okay, but what if you peeled back the layer of meanness and you saw that there was a hurt little child in there that was crying for his mother?
I help him?
Yes, you would. So forget about the mean part. Be a friend to the child part that hurts. Do you think you could do that?
Maybe.
Well, you don't have to. That's the good part. You don't have to. You could just continue disliking him and avoiding him.
I don't dislike him or anything. I just don't like him when he says that.
Of course not. Who would? You don't like his behavior.
Oh, okay.
He is.
But,
he is not his behavior.
It went to a point where he been calling me that all year, and I didn't say anything about it. And it went to a point where I burst out crying, and my friends had to tell the principal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
he got you.
One word about it throughout the year.
Yeah. Well, he got you. And listen, there's a time in life when the adults have to come to the rescue and your friends have to come to the rescue and somebody has to stand up for you, and that's all appropriate. There's nothing wrong with that. My gift to you is to give you your own strength and your own deeper vision of what's really going on. If you really, all he's saying is he's crying out. If you step on a dog's tail, it might turn around and bite you, but it's not because he doesn't like you.
It's because it hurt him?
Yeah, because he hurts. He just had a reaction. Do you see?
Yeah.
I know my dog. I used to have a dog. I know he loves me, and he would never hurt me for anything in the world. If I stepped on his tail by accident, he'd turn around and snap at me,
Yeah.
Right? He was get off my tail, right? So he's in pain.
Yeah, I get it.
And you didn't hurt him. It's not your fault. He's just finding someone to pick on. You're probably not the only one he picks on.
No, he doesn't. He does. He punched a girl.
He punched a girl?
Yes.
Yeah, well, somebody needs to clean him up a little bit, okay? He needs to have an adult intervene with that. If it gets to physical, then I don't want you to even go close to him.
Right, I'm not.
But
he's the one that always comes to me.
Well, just say, look, I know you're in a lot of pain about your mom, but there's no reason to take it out on me.
I should say that?
Yeah, why not? It should stop him in his tracks.
It hurt his feelings.
What? Now you're worried about hurting his feelings?
No, but it's mean.
Is he being nice?
No.
Well, I think that what you're saying is it's not mean.
But if you bring his mom up, then it would be in even more pain or something.
Well, he needs to deal with it, and he needs to find a more mature way to deal with it than to go around hurting other people.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I could say that.
You could actually, you could actually say that. Look, you're going to have to find a better way to deal with your pain than to going around hurting other people. I realize this is a lot for a 12-year-old to say. You don't have to do it. You called and asked me, so I'm giving you some adult advice.
All right.
This is what I would tell my own child, and this is what my own father would tell me. When somebody was picking on me or trying to bully me around at school, he always proposed that I go approach them and not run away from them, but go approach them and try to settle it,
Yeah.
So why don't you deal with the real problem? The real problem is that he's in a lot of pain. His mom died, and I would say that is, in terms of importance, what do you think is more important? That he makes fun of your name or that his mom died?
Both.
Well, I guarantee you, him calling you funny names doesn't hurt nearly as much as his mom dying.
Well, yeah, but
Right?
yeah, you're right.
It causes a certain amount of pain in your world, but in his world, it's nowhere near the amount of pain that he's experiencing. And so why don't you deal with the real issue? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like me, if I stood there standing on my dog's tail, trying to correct him for biting at me, in the meantime, he's still in pain. I think, why don't I deal with the real issue and get off his tail,
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Deal with the real issue and say, look, I'm willing to be your friend, but you got to quit calling me this stupid name all the time,
Okay.
And, you don't have to embarrass him in front of people by saying, just because your mom died or something like that, you're right, that could publicly humiliate him or hurt him. But say to him in private. In other words, don't wait till he comes up to you. You go towards him. The next time you see him, just go towards him and say, hey, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you in private about something. And just tell him your piece. It doesn't have to be more than 2 sentences. I know you're in a lot of pain. And you going around hurting other people isn't going to help things. I'm willing to be your friend.
Okay.
See what happens. Call me back and let me know.
Okay.
Yeah?
But that'll probably be in 2 months because, yeah.
Oh, you're already out of school?
Yeah.
Okay. You might see him around town somewhere.
Okay, maybe. But I don't live near him, so.
Okay, well, I hope this helped you.
Okay.
All right, thanks for calling.
Goodbye.
Bye. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take this other call. Hello, this is Gregory, and you're live on the air with Love Talk.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm very glad I can speak now.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Europe.
What can I do for you?
Very much for your good program and actually for your the good program of your wonderful wife.
Thank you.
I've got a question regarding my husband.
Okay.
I'm glad I'm just talking to you because I would like to your view as a man. I've got a wonderful husband and we've got a lot of things in common and maybe some of the things in different, but I feel the difference between us can complement each other.
Yes.
There's something which is different is regarding the business. I mean, the same as you have got with your wife, you have got the same business field together. And he's a very learned man, very knowledgeable, very intelligent, but he's not good at practice. And unfortunately, I think among the women, I'm the one more active and more successful in my business. I've got a question. I mean, sometimes I feel that he could do better in that way, more successful. And at the same time, I don't want to interfere with his business. And as always you say, I don't want to mother him.
Okay, so thank you for saying that. Now, here's what I understand so far, is that you're in a business together, and is that true? Yes or no?
Same field. We are in the same field, but we are
You're
not
in the same
working
field, but you don't work together.
One day a week, we work together.
Okay, but you don't share a common business.
It's the same field, not in one place. As I said,
Okay,
only
and you're
one
more
day a week
successful than he
we work
is.
Together.
And you're more successful than he is.
Yes, I can say yes.
Okay, well, just look at your bank account. That's how you know if you're more successful.
Yeah, actually, it was mainly my saving, which we could actually just buy things, and then it was me that actually we could just something for our life, you know.
Okay, and so now your question is, how can you help your husband to be more successful in his business without mothering him or insulting his sense of pride? Is that where we're going?
My question is that first I say anything at all, because to be honest with you, he is so good. Even not have any change, I would accept him because I'm really enjoying living with him. But sometimes I feel because the knowledge he has got is 10 times more than me, but practically I'm more active. You know, in a simple way, I can say he's not a businessman. But sometimes I feel with that knowledge he could do more and more. I just wanted to know, is there any way, because I don't want to just stay and just criticize him, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Sometimes I don't feel good. So as a man, if you were in that situation, how would you like a woman approach you? Do you want to hear anything, or do you think I can say something? What is your advice?
I am a man, and I am in a situation that's very much like that. My wife and I share a business. We work together. In terms of number of clients, she is far more successful than I am at that. She has a lot more clients than I do. Now, she's been doing it for about 18 years longer than I have in terms of being a professional in this business. She's been on television for 6 years longer than I have, and she is Farsi and English speaking, and so there's a number of reasons I can understand why more clients would go towards my wife, who is a doctor, than they would towards me, who is English speaking, and I'm a coach. Mm-hmm. Yes? And so I would be stupid not to listen to her advice, now wouldn't I?
He would do, actually, many times he would tell me, oh, I'm glad I listened to you. But
yeah, so it's not a question of how much knowledge or how much wisdom either one of us has. I've probably, I've been studying this kind of stuff, since my wife was still in high school. okay? I've been studying this kind of things all of my life. So in terms of accumulation of knowledge and stuff like that, we're not in any kind of competition about that. But in terms of being successful at the business part of it, then, you know, if she had to go build houses and design houses and be an architectural designer like I used to be, then I would be the one making, you know what I'm saying? Anyhow, it's not about me and my wife. I'm just using us as an example. If you want to help your husband in the business part of his life, his career, you have to ask his permission. Do you understand?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you need to say, I have some ideas about how you could improve your business. Are you interested? Would you like to hear them?
Well, I've been doing this. Actually.
Okay, if he says yes, then go ahead and give him your advice or your advice, but don't expect him to take your advice. He might listen, but he might not follow it, okay?
Yes.
That's his choice.
So it doesn't matter if I just offer him my advice or just my feelings.
Don't just start giving him your advice without asking permission. This is very important. And this is the part that many women miss when they're talking to men who have lived a life and who just generally don't like to take advice anyhow unless they ask for it, okay?
Yes.
So when he's not asking you for your advice, you can offer it by saying, I have some things I'd like to share with you, some ideas that might help you in your business. Would you like to hear them? You're asking permission. If he says no, keep it to yourself.
Yes.
If he says yes, give him your advice. Then don't expect him to follow it. That's all I'm saying. You can give your advice. He could say, thank you very much. I heard everything you said, and I'll think about it, or I'll do it, or I won't do it. That's only 3 things he can do with it. Yes, no, or maybe.
Yes.
So then you've given him your best advice as respectfully and lovingly as you can, but you can't now follow up and say, hey, you didn't follow the advice that I said. I told you, do not manage a man. Let the man manage himself.
Yeah, that's the reason I rang you. And
yeah.
But, sometimes I feel, to be honest with you, the knowledge he has, he can do a lot and more. And I just feel like, well, I wish he could do something. But
is he in his 50s? How old is he?
He is in mid-40s.
Mid-40s?
Yes.
Okay. Often, men, when they get into their late 40s or early 50s, in the latter part of their life, right now, if he's in his mid-40s, he's probably not there yet. But there comes a time in a man's life where he's accumulated a bunch of knowledge and expertise, and he's done a certain number of things in his life, and he begins to ask himself, what is my life about? Why do I have all of this stuff? What am I supposed to do with it? How can I make a difference with it? Or, where am I supposed to go with this? Now, for some men, it's really clear. And some other men, a lot of men, I've been one of them, sort of struggle around going, well, should I write a book? Should I teach a class? Should I learn more things? Should I go into counseling and counsel individuals? Should I get a TV show? In other words, we began to ask ourselves, what can we do with our knowledge that we've accumulated over a lifetime that will not only make a difference for the world, like help people, but how can I make a living doing that? Because it's one thing to make a difference for the world, it's another thing to actually have an income, and you have to do both. Otherwise, you can do it until the money runs out. If you want to make a difference in the world, if you want to help the world, if you want to provide something for the world, then you must have some income. Otherwise, you won't be able to provide anything. You'll run out of time and money and energy to do that.
Yes, yes.
What I'm hearing from you is that he could do so much more with his knowledge, and I don't know if that's like teach a seminar or a class or take on personal students or...
If he could do something, to be honest with you, regarding every aspect with, financial or social level, everything, it would be more than 20 times, 30 times more than this. But I don't know, why he doesn't do that. I don't know. It's just a question for me. I don't know. Is caring from something? I don't know. Many times I'm trying indirectly ask him why you are not doing. He's got all the degree, everything he needs for his career. It's the top degree he could get it.
Is he working for someone else?
Well, it's for a state. For the government. Yes.
Okay, so I got it. Somebody else is benefiting from his business, from his knowledge and his accumulation of knowledge, and they're benefiting directly from it, and he's getting a paycheck. Yeah, that would be disappointing. No, for anybody, for a man, for a woman, for anybody, because ultimately in our lives we don't want to have to be an hourly worker, right?
That's right.
You don't go to work, you don't get paid for that hour, for those 8 hours or however many hours it is. So you want to be at a place where if you need to go do something else, even if it's take a vacation, that your income isn't stopped.
Yes.
You know, and that you have to like work 10 times harder to make up for the vacation you just took. There's lots of courses that I've promoted here on this TV show, even called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. There's many courses and seminars and workshops that you can do that will make your mind explode with wonderful ideas about how to take your unique individual expertise and turn it into a business that actually helps the world. Because I believe that all of us share something in common, and that's why I do this show. That's why we have the company Embrace Growth. That's why we call it Love Talk. That's why we do this, is because I believe that every individual, everybody watching this show, and everybody that comes to our seminars, and everybody that comes to our private sessions, they want their life to make a difference. We all share that as human beings. We want our lives to touch other people, to have brought something into the world that makes the world a better place. And we want to be acknowledged for that. We want to be known for that. You know, and we want to benefit from the difference that we make as well. And that's only right that we should, yes?
Yes.
If I make the world a better place, guess who gets to live in a better world? Me.
That's right, yes.
And it doesn't really matter if people find out or know who that I did something. What really matters is that I get to do that and that I know it. That's what really matters at the end of the day. At the end of your life is not how famous you were or how rich you were, but if in your heart you know that you gave your best and you made a difference.
That's right, yes.
You know, and I believe that that's true for your husband as well. And yes, something is stopping him. And who knows what it is? Any number of things could be stopping him. One of the things that we're experts at Embrace Growth is getting people unblocked, unstopped, getting them in movement towards their secret core desire, their heart's desire. So, you might want to see if he wants to set up a session with either myself or my wife, or rather than trying to advise him on how he could do better in his business.
I've discussed this issue with another counselor. He a bit disappointed me with the answer he gave me.
I'm going to give you a very quick answer, so I hope I don't disappoint you. What is it?
Well, regarding having a child in your life, to be honest with you, me and my husband, we don't want to have a child. But
then don't do it. Do not have a child you don't want, period. That's the end of that question.
Well, I just discussed with another counselor, and he said, well, it is a personality problem, and you should have a child.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem, and you should not have a child that you don't want. There's nothing to discuss about that.
Psychologically, it's not a problem if you don't want to have it.
No.
All right.
I don't want to have a horse. I don't want to have a lot of things that I don't want to have. Does that mean I should have it and I'm going to have a problem if I don't? And a child is the same. I know that child is a much deeper connection. You don't have to have a child to be complete in your life, and that would be the worst possible reason to have one. You have a child because you want to spend the rest of your life taking care of them and being there for them and giving them the best that you got from now on.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that, then please don't.
Yeah, I mean,
the world is full of children whose parents didn't want them. Don't be another one. That's my answer to your question. I told you it would be short.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, dear? You all right?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from UK.
Very nice. I can hear the accent.
Right. I've got a son who's 20, nearly 20.
Yes.
And I found out that he's got feelings for his cousin.
Okay. Is the cousin a boy or a girl?
Girl.
Well, that's kind of one less thing to worry about. Fine. That's natural. That's it's not unusual, particularly in your culture.
Right. The only thing is the cousin is about 4 or 5 years older than him.
Okay. How old is your son?
20, nearly 20.
Yeah.
I just want to know how I can, what I need to do and how I can deal with this, really, and before it gets any further, or I haven't spoken to him yet, he's away.
You might not like my answer, but here it goes. At 20 years old, he's not a boy anymore. He's not a man yet, but he's not a boy either.
No, right, yeah.
And he's more of a man than he is a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he has not only a right to, but an obligation to separate from his mother, make his own decisions and choices and mistakes, regardless of how you feel about it. Now, I know that's kind of tough for moms to hear sometimes, but that's how it is. Young men, in order to be men, need to go and pull themselves away from their mothers, hopefully as respectfully and lovingly as possible, but clearly, and make their own decisions and their own mistakes. Great men make great mistakes, okay? All of your best decisions in life and all of my best decisions in life have come from the learning I got from making failed decisions. All of my wisdom comes from my mistakes. All of my knowledge comes from my failing. Do you understand?
Yes,
Now,
I do.
you've made mistakes. You've made mistakes, and if somebody prevented you from making them, then you would have a false learning. You would have something that you know that somebody said because you're supposed to, but you wouldn't know for yourself in your own gut. If somebody says, don't touch the fire because it's hot, you'll never know until you touch the fire itself that it's hot. Then, now you know what hot is, right? The likelihood that your 20-year-old son will fall in love with, pursue a relationship, and marry a cousin that's 4 or 5 years older than him is rather narrow, probably not very likely. Do you understand? Just statistically, if for no other reason. Just mathematically, it's not very likely that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Most of the things that, who was it? There's a famous French philosopher, I can't remember his name right now, Lacoste? I can't remember his name, but he said, most of my worries in life are about problems that never happen, right? Many of us spend our lives worrying about things that are actually not even very likely to happen. Any 20-year-old will end up marrying or spending their life with anybody that they know when they're 20 is statistically highly unlikely. Do you see what I'm saying? Let's say it wasn't his cousin, and let's say she wasn't 5 years older. Let's say it's just some girl that was the right age and whatever, right? It's highly unlikely that he would marry her too. Do you see what I'm saying? So here's the thing that you need to know about feelings.
Okay.
And all you have to do to see if this is true is look at your own feelings.
Okay.
Don't take my word for it. It's like the fire. Fire's hot. I can tell you that all day long. Stick your hand in the fire if you really want to know, right? Look at your own feelings. Feelings are non-negotiable. You cannot argue with feelings. Feelings are feelings. They just are. They are what they are. Now, here's the things about feelings. If you block a feeling, it becomes a strong emotion later. Blocked, strong emotions, the word means energy in motion.
Yeah.
So when a feeling is blocked from being expressed, it builds up and it eventually becomes stronger than whatever's blocking it. Right? And then it gets released as an emotion. It could be anger, it could be sadness, it could be passionate love, or, the illusion of love. Lust, it could be a lot of things, right? But it's a strong energetic release at some point. For example, I believe now that they have scientifically demonstrated that between 90 and 95% of all cancers are from suppressed anger. Grief and anger, suppressed, not expressed. When something is internalized long enough, it will eventually have a physical manifestation. So what I'm saying is that when he comes to you with this, say, well, okay, I'm sure, if you want to release him as a son and as a young man, say, you're a young man now, and I'm sure that you will make the right decision. That will be an act of courage on your part. You're a young man, I've taught you well, I've given you my best. If you're asking me, I don't think that this kind of thing would work out. You being in love with your cousin that's 5 years older than you doesn't look like something that would have much of a future. And you're free to do as you like. However, unless he asks for your advice, don't give it, because he's a man, right? If he says, Mom, what should I do?
And then what do I say?
Say, you do what you know is right. Put it back on him to make the decision. Don't let him become Mama's little boy.
No.
Mommy, what should I do with my life? At 20 years old, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of repulsive. Just say, you're a young man, please do what you know is right. I've given you my best, and I don't think this is something that'll work out. Okay?
Okay. Lovely. Thank you very much for your advice and your help, dear.
Thank you. Thanks for your call.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
We have people that are still waiting on the line, so I'm going to go ahead and take this call. Hello, this is Gregory, and you're live on the air.
My husband divorced me, and he's been blocking his feeling, emotion, as you said, suppress it. and he's emotionally strong. He's all suppressed. As a result, he's got 2 types of cancers, unfortunately.
Okay.
And
So do you have a question about that?
yes, my question is, he divorced me. He's not back to me. I could take care of him. And we have 2 children, and he's not married to anybody else. And he tells me he loves me. But
Yeah, he tells you he loves you because he wants you to take care of him.
yes.
So, do you love him?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I've been always loving him, but he just did cheating on me. So that ended up to be a divorce after 3 years of fighting and battling over it. And we have a daughter, 18, straight A, gifted and talented.
Okay, wait. I don't need all the details. I only need the question. So, what's your question?
I want to know, can I trust him when he says he loves me?
Probably not.
Okay. If I wait for him, he won't come back.
Why, is he gone?
My question is, if I wait for him, is he
Wait
going to
for
come
him?
back to me?
What do you mean, wait for him?
I'm still in the house. I'm taking care of the kids, and the final decree is done, but he doesn't pay my share yet after 3 years.
Yeah, listen, he's made his own bed. I would let him sleep in it. And if you want to love him and take care of him like a mother, like a nurse, like a hospital, then go ahead and do that. That's your choice in your life. If that is fulfilling for you, if that would nurture you, if that would be the highest expression of who you are in the world, then go right ahead and do that. If something about that feels like it's draining you, using you, diminishing you, making you smaller and less as a human being than what you were truly put on God's earth to do, then I suggest you don't do that.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Thank you very, very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Listen, you got to find out what is your expression in life. What is your purpose in life? Why are we here? Each one of us is here for a special reason. And you have a gift to give to the world. And if you don't give it, the world is not going to have it. Don't think somebody else is going to give your gift. Nobody can write your song, write your book, teach your lesson. Each of us has our own individual life and our own individual way of bringing a gift into the world. And for some people, it is being a wonderful mother or an incredible father. I never really realized this until way after it was way too late. But my own mother, my mother died when she was 36 years old of a cancer, okay? An internalized upset, right? I never knew she had it because when you're a kid, your mother's like an adult, so you don't realize that, my mother was only 18 when I was born. I don't know that. When I'm a kid, she looks like, when you're a kid, your parents are always 40, right? They always look like they're in their 40s, regardless of what age they are. So I didn't realize that my mother never got to have her own childhood. I didn't realize that by being an ornery, difficult to deal with child, that I was putting an enormous amount of pressure on a girl, a young girl that wasn't even ready to be an adult yet, And so by the time she was 36 and I was 18, she was gone, okay? I've often thought about what does that mean? What is the significance of that? What can I learn or take away from the world at that? I believe that maybe her purpose in life was to be a great mother because she truly was a great mother. In fact, my mother took on having a children's nursery, and she actually took care of up to 48 kids on a day and night basis. Today they would call that a daycare center or something like that, but that's what my mother started that business when I was in my, 12 or 13 years old. She started that business, quickly became the biggest business of that type in the city that we lived in, and at a time when it wasn't a common thing to do as a business. And so she was an impeccable mother to all of other people's children as well. And so I just believe that my mother was on this earth to give the gift of motherhood. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't realize that everything that's good in me, that many of the things that are good in me, that's humble in me, that's careful and that cares about people in me, I got it from my mother. So maybe that was her mission, was to give that to me so I could give it to you. I don't know, but every person has a gift, and being a mother, taking care of people is certainly a great, great gift. You never know what future generations your life may be affecting by something as simple as that. If it doesn't call to you, And I'm speaking as much for my last caller about taking care of her husband who now wants to come back that he has cancer, but also to the woman who was asking me earlier, you know, should she have children if she doesn't want to? No, if it's not your mission, don't do it. You know, do what calls to you. Do what speaks to you in your heart, and don't do those things that you don't feel that you should be doing. That's all. Okay, so the lines are lit up. I'm going to go ahead and take some calls. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air.
Hello, how are you?
Very good. Where are you calling from?
Iran.
You're calling from Iran. Well, good
Iran.
morning. It's like morning of Thursday morning over there.
It's 3 a.m.
Yes. How can I help you?
I am 37.
Yes.
And when I was in high school, I was 16. I fell in love with a girl.
Okay.
I'm the kind of guy who feels very confident. What I discover now, scientists usually will find out 2 years later. And then...
What you found out now, scientists will find out 3 years later?
Yeah.
What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. What does that mean? This girl that you fell in love with when you were 16, is she in your life right now?
She's not. She moved to another city and then probably went out the country. I lost her, but I still love her.
Okay. Well, right now you love the idea of her because she's not there to love. You don't know who she is anymore. So you love an image from 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, that's true, but don't step over that. That's not like a small fact. That's the whole point of this conversation. You want to step over it like, well, that's an incidental point. That is the only point. You are in love with an image from 20 years ago. And it's not really love, it's more like an obsession, but it would be more linguistically correct to say that it is an obsession or a holding on or a cherishing of a sweet image from 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's true, but is there any problem over here?
Yeah, there is.
And what kind of remedy is there?
Well, the problem is simple and the remedy is even simpler, okay? And it is so simple that you'll try to make it difficult. Most people do. I'm going to tell you a story about how they catch these very exotic monkeys. So there's some very exotic monkeys that are very beautiful to look at, and they're very clever and hard to catch. And of course, the people that want to catch them don't want to hurt them. So what they do is there's a particular nut that they really like, some nuts that they gather from the trees that they really like, and the people that want to catch them put this nut down in a bottle that's attached to something, and it's just big enough for the monkey to get its hand into and grab the nut. But once they have the nut, they can't get their hand out.
Okay.
And then, of course, the scientists can come and grab the monkey, and they take them. And now all the monkey has to do is simply let go, and they could pull their hand out. But they're so attached to the nut that they lose the rest of their life. They lose their freedom for a nut in a bottle when there's plenty of nuts all over all the trees. Do you understand the metaphor and why I'm telling you this story?
Yeah, I can see
You
that.
are holding on to something when there are an abundance of beautiful, wonderful women who are probably looking for a guy just like you. And you're hanging on to this nut. You're hanging on to something that's gone. Sorry, she's gone.
I know she's gone, but she is still alive, so I can catch her somehow, some way.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe
But,
not. Maybe she's married.
What is you are referring to the root of the problem?
Well,
what is the practical remedy for that?
I got it. In the practical world, yes, there is a technology that I do in private sessions with my clients, and that my wife does as well, for releasing and letting go of things from the past. It's called unfinished business, and it's about completing things from the past. You're stuck in the past as a 16-year-old, and your relationships with women are being dictated by that. So if you want to move on with your life, You have to let go of this. Now, that you're not able to, or that you feel stuck about it, I understand. And there is a specific technology, and I would say it would take all of an hour and a half to completely let go of that so that it never runs your life again. Then, if you find her, you find her. You don't, you don't. If you ran into her on the street, you would have whatever emotions you have, but it would no longer be something that bothers you.
Yeah, I asked this question from you because about 3 years ago, I asked the same question from an American psychologist on TV Live, and he said I have to be friends with lots of girls, and I did it. But actually, I don't find anybody. There are lots of gorgeous girls around me. Mm-hmm. I can catch them very easily. But nobody actually is going to be very attractive to me emotionally.
Well, because they don't have a chance with you. They don't have a chance with you because they're constantly being compared to an ideal. You have never been authentically been with, soul to soul, eye to eye, heart to heart, body to body with another woman when this other image wasn't present. Every time you're with another woman, you have this ideal that you're comparing it to that's stuck there in your head. And so they can never compare to that. They can never be that woman.
I can see that. But why I stuck to that particular woman or girl?
Well, you and I could talk for a long time about why, and it actually doesn't matter. The answer to that question is your left brain, your logical, conditioned, systematic, linear mind trying to come up with an answer that it then can put in line with something else. It's totally irrelevant because we're talking about something that's an emotional blockage. So the rational mind can never unlock it, ever. Talking about it, you could talk about it for 15 years and it'll never unlock the emotion. You cannot unlock it with talking. It'll never get to it. Do you understand?
Yeah,
so I decline to answer the question why, because it's a useless question. With all respect, the answer to that will give you absolutely nothing.
I can see that, but you as a coach at least could give me a clue.
I know exactly why. I could tell you in extreme detail exactly why, and it would make zero difference, so I won't waste our time. That's all I'm saying. Out of respect for myself and my viewers and you, I'm not going to waste your time with one more explanation of a meaningless question. That's all I'm trying to say, and I don't mean any disrespect by it. It's simply, do you ever have one of those navigation programs on your car?
Yeah, GPS.
You do, right? You do, right? You got GPS. Using the GPS system, okay? It's a satellite. It's actually 3 satellites that triangulate, right? They find out where you are, and then you tell it where you want to go. And so it looks at where you're at and where you want to go, and it tells you how to get there, yes?
Yes.
Now, does the GPS system ever ask you, why are you here? How come you spent so much time here? Where were you just before you got here? Why were you there? Why did you stay here? Why did you always come back to this place? It doesn't ask you that. It doesn't care. It only cares where you're at and where you want to go. Why you are there, how you got there, who cares? It really doesn't matter. Do you understand?
I understand, but why are you comparing me with GPS? You always talk about having a purpose in life. You go through some religious thought, but at the same time, you are disconnecting me from that reasoning, that logical. Why is that?
See, it's just the logical wanting to know why. Any question that has the word why in it is coming from the left brain logical part of yourself that is trying to make sense of everything.
I can see your logic now, but I am that kind of person who feels very comfortable in my own skin. I wouldn't be disappointed if she's married. I just observe the world and the universe.
Okay, that's good. Then observe that you have a phenomenon going on in your life right now. Just observe that. And in this phenomenon, there is a thing called think, feel, with regards to this girl. With regards to this particular girl that you knew when you were 16, you have some thoughts, then you have some feelings, then you have some thoughts, then you have some feelings, and then you have some thoughts, and then you have some feelings. feelings. That kind of circuit will lead to a kind of depression, you see. It leads to a kind of blocked energy because it's all internal. It has no expression in the physical world. There's no way to know her and love her and bring her flowers and kiss her and do all the things that you might think and feel about. You can't do it. It's not there for you to do. She's gone, right? And it would be probably a poor investment of your time and money and energy to try to go find her, unless you found her on the internet or something like that, with something that was low cost and low impact. Do you know what I mean? I know there's lots of sites where you can look up people and stuff like that. And if you want to spend some time and money and energy pursuing somebody that from 20 years ago, go ahead. I don't think it's a good investment.
I haven't felt depressed in my whole life from that time up until now.
And you feel depressed now?
You were telling me that I feel and I think, and I'm depressed. But I'm not depressed at all. Actually, I am a happy person inside.
Okay, good.
I can see that.
I didn't mean to say that you are depressed, but that kind of thinking and feeling leads to depression because it reinforces itself, and yet there's no outward expression of it. Everything that's on the inner world, and our feelings and our thoughts are inner, yes, we can't see them, they're just inside, right? If we cut you open, there would be no feelings and thoughts in there to see. Everything that's inside us, our feelings and our thoughts and our emotions, our spirituality, gets expressed in the outer world. If it doesn't get expressed in the outer world, then it turns in on itself and often has some kind of psychological or physical manifestation. That's why we were talking earlier about cancer and things like that. It could have another kind of psychological manifestation. Apparently in you're pretty happy, self-expressed, spiritually oriented guy, and you got this one little thing that, I guess, that you're kind of stuck on this girl from when you were 16.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm glad to talk to you. But do you think any help from such a far away from your office?
Absolutely. We have clients all the time that call from Iran, Dubai, Turkey, England, Germany, Sweden. We have clients from all over the world that call and have private sessions with us. Iran's a little difficult because it's night when it's day over here and like that, but I mean, we either have early morning or late night sessions by phone.
Okay, thank you very much for your show and your time.
Thank you for your trust and thanks for calling me. Thank you. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. So I will be back here again next week on Love Talk. Thank you for joining me. My name is Gregory Morgan, and please visit us at embracegrowth.com.
Welcome to the Embrace Growth app. There's a new way to communicate and join in. Create your free account online and sign into the app. Manage your profile on the go and choose between English or Farsi. Register for events and schedule appointments more easily than ever. Stream audio, video, and download books all over Wi-Fi or cellular. Sign up for workshops and seminars right on your phone. And access your audio and video library in the palm of your hand. Take your favorite lessons from Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan with you. Download it today on the App Store. A haven for the weary soul. A source of inspiration and community. Redesigned to bring you meaningful experiences and unforgettable events. We are a worldwide community of vibrant individuals, displayed in the people who are a part of it, from many nations, backgrounds, and beliefs. Through powerful outreach programs, the struggles of everyday life are confronted and conquered, transforming those who participate into the best versions of themselves. One-on-one sessions are available to keep you headed in the right direction, coupled with the best resources to remind you how to live, whether at home or elsewhere. Programs designed for men, providing the building blocks of maturity, commitment, integrity, and leadership, paving the way for productive and fulfilling manhood. Beyond an understanding of masculine leadership is its application in daily life and development into something truly unique. Exclusive training for women, encouraging growth and empowerment through an acceptance of their true identities, redefining interactions, and changing the viewpoint through which life is seen. Embracing the woman within and accessing facets of your personality hidden beneath the surface. Showing our youth the value of integrity and reliability by creating an indwelling desire to succeed with honor, basing the future on a solid foundation of ideals that will guide them through life, leading by example, and showing others how to clearly convey their thoughts in a compelling way, creating a culture of mature leaders who can help others achieve self-confidence and their goals. Real people and real lives are changed for the better. With every event, more are touched and come to an understanding of their place in this world and their community. Embrace Growth is run by a passionate team and led by the diligence and inspiration of Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan, who consistently teach life lessons based on what works, rather than the passing fads of the times.